Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
What's up, guys? Today we are going to be going over week 2 of the NFL. Going to be recapping every single game and a little bit of a Thursday night football preview. So yeah, be a lot of fun. This week was awesome. A lot of close games again and some blowouts, but overall pretty fun week of football. Weekend of football with a Monday doubleheader on Monday night. That was pretty fun. Alright, so what we can do, let's wait. I like settings. Stream. Put faster. I don't know why it didn't show. It shows the chat up here, supposed to, but it's okay. I have it on my phone, so we'll go over week 2 NFL plus. So. So we'll start off with the one. Tim, how's it going, dude? How you doing, Tim? So week 2. Week 2. Here we go. All right, we'll start off with. We already talked about Thursday night football, so we'll start with the Ravens and the Browns. So, what's up, Tim? How you doing, dude? I don't know what that came up twice for some reason. How you doing, Tim? How's everything? Should I talk about your Panthers first, or do you want to hold it for a minute? Up to you. Man, you must have been. Dang. Did you get to watch the whole game, Tim? Of that Panthers Cardinals game? Oh yeah, I'm doing good, dude. Tim, appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it. It's about to be fun. This is gonna be a fun pod right here. And I need to figure out. I need to put it on Spotify and stuff, so people can listen to it in the car. That'd be pretty cool as well. I'm traveling. That's not radio. Didn't see last minute. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, it was a good game at the end, and the Cardinals were kind of just beating down on y'all. Bryce Young looked continued off from last week looking not great, and then something clicked after Kyler Murray threw a late turnover, a bad turnover, I should say. He literally just screwed up for no reason, and it got picked, and then that momentum kind of jump started the Panthers. And then Bryce Young started kind of looking like the Bryce Young from the end of last year. And he kept going and going and scoring and scoring and scoring up until they needed an onside kick to get the ball back. And yeah, try to give it us and can't complete. But yeah, damn Tim. Uh, Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's hard at this point. Like, I want to believe he can be good, but at the same time, it's 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 hard to decide. Like, he has to be their quarterback right now, just because he has to. I mean, they're not gonna try to not cut him or anything like that. But he did have 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, most of those being garbage time yards, of course. And then Ted McMillan is looking like a stud. Like that guy's gonna be your number one receiver for a while. He had 6 receptions for 100 yards. Dang, you can get him a touchdown though. That's what that didn't they do. Hunter Renfro actually did get some receptions, so there's something to look forward to. Him, Ted McMillan, Renfro, um, Chuba Hubbard. Uh, Rushing wise, you guys didn't get to run the ball well at all because Kyler Murray and the company went up early. Uh, it was overall it was a it was a blowout, and then they finally wanted to start playing. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, you got to be able to put it together, and Bryce Young's taken way too long to put it together. I mean, how can he has to continue from the end of last year, and he didn't. You saw flashes of that at the end of this game, but they were down so much that didn't matter. Um, that you got the onside kick, and he did nothing with it. So I, I mean, maybe people will be talking about something different if they won this game, but he played. He didn't play great either. So it's kind of in this weird dilemma. It's like we have to give this guy a shot. He's our quarterback. He's a young quarterback. We have to give him a chance. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna have to draft someone. There's a guy on TikTok, a big Panthers fan, and he was saying that he he thinks that Bryce Young can be good. And then everyone was blowing up in the chat, and he kept defending Bryce. He was like, "Oh no, this Bryce can be good. Look what happened in the game." It's like, dude, the game was over. I mean, you got lucky. You even got it close, but it was never your game. So I really just don't understand how that happened. So I don't know. But some notable stats that I think would be is pretty good. Bryce Young completed 24 of 38 passes for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half after he passed for just 111 yards and an interception in the first half. The Cardinals defense, yeah, I mean I think it's because they have hope. They saw what Bryce Young can do, and even me, like, if Bryce Young can figure it out and do what he did at the end of last year, like that last half of the season, I mean, he's a capable quarterback. He just needs something to snap. I think something just off. Like, he should have been able to continue off from last year because they ended in a high because they beat us and last game of the season, as you know. So that should have kind of boosted the confidence of that team, but it didn't. And Bryce Young just is looking like rookie Bryce Young. So it is really, really weird that he's regressing when he progressed at the end of last season. I, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his thinking. Maybe he's trying to do too much. I don't know, but he's got to figure it out. You can't be down this much and try to get a miracle win and then all of a sudden be okay with that. No, you got to put yourself in position to win this game, and you got to keep your team in this game by not throwing dumb balls and being accurate with the football. Yeah, I saw a lot of this game on Red Zone, so a good thing the Red Zone is a 4 o'clock game, so I saw almost every single play. But Bryce Young had a off game in the first half, and then second half he started turning it back up a little bit. So that was good. Pro preview. So NFL Plus has NFL Pro, which actually gives you a lot of cool stats that are actually really good. Um, Jeez, you do not know what your offense overall passing efficiency is. Ooh, Walker cleans it up Sunday. Oh my God, Tim, dang. Yeah, dude, our defense is looking really good. I'll get to that later, but dude, our defense is looking real nice. I'm excited for what Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. They both got their first sacks. Rukororo got his first career sack. Brandon Dorless got his first career sack. Leonard Floyd got his first sack as a Falcon. Uh, Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman both got interceptions. That's their first career interceptions as rookies. Like, it was all around an amazing night from the defense, and I think that will continue. Our pass rush looks way better than it ever has in 10 plus years. And I think we finally have the pass rush to be able to compete with teams. So, um, like, a week preview for I will give my game picks later, like a quick one. Now we'll actually give our actual like scores and game picks Saturday, but uh, it's I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna score a lot more too, and it's just gonna be up to Bryce Young and company to be able to keep up. That's all I'm saying. And plenty of your O line went down too this Sunday as well. I think I saw two of your O linemen out now for a few weeks or something like that. So yeah, look at that. Two guards are, wow. Two guards, yeah. What the heck? But your O line is gonna be shorthanded, and I think that that's gonna bode well for us. And it's in Carolina too, so I mean, look, I'm trying not to say it's gonna be a blow up, but it's looking like it's gonna be Bryce Young's time to go. Starka Butts. Oh yeah, dude, I have Kyle Pitts in my main paid league. He's been a lot better this year. He's been getting a lot more catches. I just expecting him to have a really good game, and it could be against Panthers. Um, yeah, he was having a good game against the Vikings too, and didn't really get as many receptions in the second half, but he did get it. He'd get his stuff done. Dude, I really don't understand. Like, your defense is built to be able to at least be decent enough so to give Bryce Young a chance. But this year, like, I know past years, you probably will agree too. Like, your defensive line was stout at a point, uh, and it started getting worse the last year or two. But at one point, your defensive line was stout. Um, I just don't know what the coaches are doing with that room, the defensive room. Um, uh, your corner. How am I blanking on him? I know his name. Uh, I'm forgetting your number one wide receiver's name for some reason. Uh, I actually know him. Like, no, I mean I don't know him, but like I remember his name, and I'm supposed to know his name. Um, what's the name? Uh, J.C. Horn. Yeah, there we go. J.C. Horn. He's he's been okay this year. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how I forgot his name, but J.C. Horn's been really good. This been okay this year, and I did not mean really good. But that whole defense as a whole has to get better. I mean, they're missing so many tackles, and they're just allowing yard after yard after yard, rushing wise and passing wise. It's like it just doesn't make any sense. They did do a pretty good job against the Cardinals in the run game, though. Only held James Conner to 34 and Kyler to 32. So really, to do bad in the run game wise, and you guys have been okay in the run the last 2 years. Last year too. I mean, yeah, you guys have some players. It's just they need to work together as a group. Uh, you know what's crazy? That Marvin Harrison only got 2 receptions for 27 yards. I mean, I thought Kyler Murray would have been able to get him involved a lot more from last week, but he didn't. Apparently, Trey McBride led the way. It was really kind of like Cardinals went ahead, and the Panthers just couldn't keep up until the end, and then they finally started doing stuff. But I can't tell you enough about J.C. Horn. I mean, J.C. Horn, not Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan was really good. He's gonna be a stud. He might have 1,000 yards this season. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so we did that. All right, so So we'll go over Browns and Ravens. So be the circus to see the clown. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, you're gonna be at the game, Tim? You're going to this one? Oh man, I wish you luck, dude. If our pass rush is for real, you might be in for a long game, unfortunately. And I think they are real. I mean, look, you could say the Vikings had so many injuries and their O line didn't have Christian Darrisaw, but I don't think even if Christian Darrisaw was in, it wouldn't have mattered. I think our pass rush was just so good, and our defense was too. So Ravens and Browns. This one was close in the first half. Like Lamar, they stopped the run game. They stopped Derrick Henry. Like he only had 23 yards. It's actually insane. The Browns did a really good job in the run game, and it kept them in the game for a little while for the first half, and then things started going for the Ravens offensively. Uh, oh no, you're good, Tim. No, you're good. No worries. Watch film. What's that button do? Oh, okay. Well, I'm just figuring stuff out. But yeah, Quinshon Judkins got his first start, and he looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he looked explosive, and that's what they need right now. Uh, the first half of the game, Lamar got started. It started off slow for both teams, and Brown's inability to be able to run the ball really well early, and their inability to keep drives going, and penalties. Penalties hurt too. And then they actually stopped the Ravens in a run, so Lamar had to pass, and there was a bunch of 3-and-outs. But in the second half, Lamar and company got it going. They got long touchdown passes to Devontae Walker. Derrick Henry didn't really get going, which I thought was a good sign for the Browns. But at the end of the day, Joe Flacco just couldn't keep the drives going. Like there were times where his receivers dropped balls, but also Joe Flacco, even last week, he was checking it down so much. You got to throw the ball down the field. You can't just check it down all the game. And that's what he did this game too. He really didn't throw down the field too much. He did try some, but it just ended up not working out for him. Yeah, the Ravens look good. They dominated this game. Myles Garrett is still a beast. The Braves defense played a really good job as well. TJ Tampa got a reflection as well. Uh, and then now we're going to Jags and Bengals. Um, this one was probably it's a really good game, um, and it's kind of confirmed something I said before. Like going into the season, I knew the Jaguars, their weakness would be their secondary. I did not like their secondary at all. Their pass rush can be really good, but I did not like their secondary. Nobody on that team, they just really didn't do anything crazy to change the defense secondary wise, and it showed. You're letting a backup quarterback in Jake Browning, even though he threw 3 interceptions, they let Jamar Chase run all over you. They did a pretty good job on T Higgins, but they let Jamar Chase run all over them, and that was the main problem with this team is their secondary. They're not going to be able to stop the pass, and what that does is force the offensive Jaguars to be able to score, and they did. They were up early, and then they couldn't get drives together. Brian Thomas Jr. dropped passes for no reason. Uh, he even tipped a ball in the middle of the field. Brian Thomas Jr. did that led to a pick. It looked like a hospital ball, which it basically was, but Brian Thomas Jr. just stopped and put his arm out, and I was like, that's obviously going to lead to an interception. You can't just put your arm out there as wide receiver. You have to at least fight for the ball to avoid that turnover, because even if you try to go for the ball, it's most likely incomplete. Live to see another down. You punt it at least. But no, he decided like he was scared to go catch the ball, and he saw the defender come in, so he's scared and just put his arm out, and it led to an interception. It's like, okay, that was all Brian Thomas Jr.'s fault. I have no idea what's going on with him, but for some reason something's off with him. Like he doesn't trust Trevor Lawrence, or he's scared to catch the ball in traffic. I really don't know. But they gotta figure that out quick if they want to win games. Trevor didn't have the best completion percentage, but also his receivers did drop balls this game. Like Diami Brown, he scored a touchdown early, but he also dropped a touchdown, like a very easy touchdown that led to the Jaguars going for a field goal. Um, Joe Burrow unfortunately got hurt. Um, he's gonna be out 3 months, so that's not looking good at all for the Bengals. So watch out on that. Jake Browning can be a decent backup, but not enough with their schedule. The Bengals schedule, I just don't know how many wins they're gonna pile up before Joe Burrow gets back. Because if you look at their schedule right now, the Bengals, they play the Vikings next, winnable game because the Vikings look really bad. Then they play the Broncos, the Lions, the Packers, and the Steelers. 4 in a row. Broncos, Lions, Packers, and Steelers. Like, I don't know how you're going to beat the Broncos or the Lions or the Packers, especially the Packers. I don't know how you're going to beat those teams with a backup quarterback there. If he plays smart football, there's always a chance. But man, by the time Joe Burrow gets back, they also after those 4 games they have a little bit of a lull. They play the Jets and the Bears, and then they play the Steelers back again. It's a divisional game, and anything can happen in those. Then they play the Patriots. So that 4 game stretch can be winnable. That's the second one Joe Burrow's gone. Joe Burrow's not back yet. And then after that, they play the Ravens, Bills, and Ravens. So 3 straight games they play the Ravens, Bills, and the Ravens. Without Joe Burrow, I don't know how you win those games. And then they end the season with the Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns. So realistically, if I had to look, they're 2-0 right now, which helps them a little bit. But at the end of the day, like they could be, let's say they'll beat the Vikings at 3-0. They lose to the Broncos 3-1. Lose to the Lions and Packers 3-3. Lose to the Steelers 3-4. Beat the Jets and Bears. What did I say? 2-0, 3-0, 3-3, 3-4. 4-4 after they beat the Jets. 5-4 after they beat the Bears. Let's give them a win the second time they play the Steelers. So 6-4, 7-4. They beat the Patriots maybe, and then they play the Ravens, Bills, and Ravens, and I think all 3 of those are losses. So it'll be 7-7 by the time. And Joe Burrow might be back in that first Ravens or Bills game. So who knows? But he has to win those games, and I don't. That's gonna be hard because that's right before December. The Ravens are going to be wanting to win games. They're trying to fight for the division. It's just a tough schedule. And then Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns. I think those are 3 very winnable games. It's going to be tough. I think they finished 10-7. That might barely be enough to make the playoffs. I can't speak on that yet, but it depends when Joe Burrow gets back. If the Bengals can snag some wins, at least I'd say if they at least get to 5 wins before Joe Burrow gets back, 5 or 6, I'd say they might have a chance. But that's pushing it with that schedule. But really, I've seen a lot of people. Well, as I talked about last week, T Law was off on his throws, which he shouldn't, and making mistakes that he shouldn't make. That's a fifth-year quarterback. Uh, so yeah, that was something he had to improve for some reason. He I don't know what's wrong with him, but this week he looked good. A lot of people still clowning him because they thought he looked really bad, but his receivers dropped a lot of ball this week, so I think mainly the wide receiver room was on him. And then the second interception, I mean, first, this is probably first in order, but his second interception, he got sacked basically. Like the left tackle didn't even see the pass rusher, literally unblocked straight to him as he was throwing it, and led to a floater. Easily got intercepted in the red zone, and then that's the point where they could have gone up too. Um, yeah, the Jaguars had no reason to lose this game. They were moving up and down the field, um, moving up and down the field easily against this Bengals defense. Um, and at the end of the game, they went for it on 4th and 5, which I really did not like because they were up three. I just don't know. They're up three, right? And they go for it on 4th and 5. Like at this point, you just kick the field goal. It's 6 points, and you give your defense a chance. Because at the end of the day, even if they score, it's gonna be a 1 point game. Who knows how much time they'll have left, but I really did not like the call on the 4th and 5, even though Brian Thomas Jr. did drop that catch. It looked like he might have gotten the first, but it was going to be really close as well. And he was falling down as he was, if he would have caught it, he would fell down. I think he was going to fall down really short after looking at it. Like I was trying to look at the angles to where he fell on that fourth down. But if he caught it, I think he would have been a half a yard short. So, but at the end of the day, it was 4th and 5. No reason not to kick the field goal, then you go for it. I mean, I think that was one of the big reasons why they lost the game too. But also their defense was horrible, um, and they released Darnell Savage today. So there you go. They don't have a who's going to be their next safety. We don't know. Their secondary is toast. I don't have any faith in that. They need to fix that soon. They need to trade for somebody if they want a winning season this year. Otherwise, people are just going to go down the field on them. I just saying like that. And the pass rush needs to get there. The pass rush got there early in the first half, and then slowed down in the second half. They got there in the third quarter a little bit, but you got to be consistent in doing that. There's no excuse with Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, and Eric Armstead to not have a pass rush, and just didn't happen because their defense kept allowing Jamar Chase to run all over them, even on screen passes. So the Bengals 2-0, but I'm not sure how it's gonna work out for them. Uh, in one of the game of the weeks, actually, the Cowboys and Giants. I'm not sure if you saw that game, Tim, but that game is absolutely crazy. And the craziest first drive happened for the Giants too. Like their left tackle that they decided to start this game on the first drive, he literally had 5 penalties. Like I'm not even kidding. Brian Dable was so mad. That left tackle had 5 penalties in one drive in the first drive of the game, and they ended it with 3. So that was crazy. This Giants team, like from last week, I thought they weren't going to be able to score at all because their offensive line looked horrible last week. This week they did a way better job, and Russell Wilson looked like prime Russell Wilson, which was crazy to say the least. Um, I don't know. This game was really really good. Wanda Robinson got going. Malik Neighbors had 2 touchdowns. Oh my goodness. Cam Scadaboo actually got a touchdown, his first rushing touchdown of his career. Uh, Malik Neighbors 9 for 167, 2 tutties. Wanda Robinson 8 for 142. Russell Wilson was throwing dimes on deep balls all game long. Even on a 3rd and 25, he threw a dime in the middle of the field to Wanda Robinson for a touchdown on 3rd and 25 in the second quarter. Like, what's the Cowboys doing? Like, they had a decent pass rush last week against opening night against the Eagles. and all of a sudden they want to allow Russell Wilson to be prime Russell Wilson and blown coverages the whole game from the Cowboys. It just really didn't make any sense, and their pass rush didn't get there enough. So it, this game was fun. If you guys haven't seen it, go check the replay on NFL Plus. It was a fun game. CeeDee Lamb had 9 receptions for 112 yards. Jake Ferguson had a lot of catches. George Pickens got a touchdown here. Man, it was just a fun game, and it went to overtime because they somehow the Giants were playing really soft defense at the end of the game, and I have no idea why. Like at the end of the fourth quarter, literally their last drive to try to get Brandon Aubrey in field goal range to tie the game to go to overtime, they were playing 10 yards off the receiver for no reason at all. You know Brandon Aubrey can kick it from 60 plus. Then why are you standing back 20 yards from the receivers? Like, I don't know who the defensive coordinator needs to be smarter in that situation. Like, there was no reason the Giants defenders should be staying 10 to 15 yards away from receivers when you know Brandon Aubrey's on the Dallas Cowboys. It was just stupid play calling. And then they get to overtime. Brandon Aubrey kicks a 64-yard field goal, tying the NFL record. Uh, and look, as soon as Brandon Aubrey came out, I knew he was going to hit that field goal. It was just no doubt in my mind he was going to hit it, and he hit it. So they go to overtime, and then they stop each other a little bit. Giants and Cowboys can't really get a drive going until Russell Wilson gets the drive going with Malik Nabers, 2 straight passes to Malik Nabers to get him going. And then for some reason he's getting pressured up the middle and decides just to throw the ball up in the air on a probably one of his best nights of his career, where he could have been the hero for New York and get them their first win of the season. He literally throws an air ball just up in the air, and Malik Nabers is like 10 yards to the left, and he just throws it up, and it gets picked off, and Cowboys get into field goal range and seal the deal and win this game. Hey, look, I just doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't make that mistake. You're trying to win this game. You're a bad football team trying to prove something to the team that they can win football games, and you just can't throw picks like that. He literally just threw it up in the air. It's like the most confusing thing I've seen all day from Russell Wilson, because he was having an amazing game. He was making every right read, and he just gave the game away. Dak had 361 yards too. Dak can throw the ball. Like, he's gonna be able to find George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. It helps when the run game gets going a little bit too. Javonte Williams had 97 yards and a touchdown. Big running touchdown up the middle too. Marcel, how's it going, dude? I'm doing good. How you doing, dude? What you been up to? It's been a minute, dude. You went to Kansas and Chargers game? Oh, you did. How was that? Dude. I bet that was an awesome game. Uh, Dude, that must have been a really really fun game. Like, that'd be cool to see in Brazil too. Wow, dude, he did. Herbert went off, and I love Justin Herbert. So he might be MVP this year based off the first 2 weeks. He might be. Look, if I had to make a bet, he's probably gonna win MVP, and I'd love to see it. And they can make a deep playoff push too, especially with how that offense is going and how Herbert's playing. They just need a run game to get going a little bit more. But other than that, it was that team's looking good. Their defense playing really well too. Um, I just went over. I was just going over the week 2 games, doing a little recap. Uh, I just went over Cowboys Giants, which is one of the games of the day. Could be one of the games of the year too. So yeah, like, I'm not gonna go over too much of Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. Detroit just dominated Chicago. Early Chicago though, they kept up their they kept getting closer to Detroit. Their defense just couldn't stop them. I mean, you gotta help your offense a little bit, and then the offense stuttered. Caleb just looked like a different person in the second half. In the first half, he actually was throwing good throws. He was looking like a quarterback that was progressing. In the second half, he just couldn't get it going. Like, I just don't understand. Like, there were some throws that it was just like, come on, Caleb, you can't be throwing those, especially the interception. Like, he ran to the sideline, just throw it away. He literally tries to make a hero play with nobody there, and he throws it so far deep that the defender intercepts it. Jared Goff had an amazing day. Jameer Gibbs, everybody scored. Everybody you think was scored. Jameson Williams scored. Amon-Ra St. Brown scored. Jameer Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, they all scored. Roma Dunze had a really good game. Caleb was able to find him a lot, which was awesome to see. I know on Saturday I talked about how they need to get Rome involved to be able to help them win the game, but they got blown out. But they were able to get Rome going. And the opposite happened. They weren't able to get anybody except Rome going, which is a big reason why they lost. Defensively, they played horrible. The pass rush did not get there. The offensive line lines just held up. Caleb Williams, off and on second half, just really can't keep drives together, and penalties killed them. There were multiple times where they got holding penalties when they were going driving. So the Bears look bad, and they gotta fix it. Caleb Williams got to be better. The Lions look like they can score at will too. So I wasn't worried about the Lions at all last week. All right, we have another good. A lot of the games the first 2 weeks have been really, really good. Like, I'm surprised. Like, we haven't had this many close games. Like at the end of last year, there was a lot of blowouts, which I don't care for blowouts, but I understood because a lot of the good teams actually separate themselves. But yeah, right now there's a lot of parity, which is good. Next up, we got the Patriots and Dolphins. Uh, Tua and the offense finally got it going. They finally figured something out, which was nice to see. Just that Drake May and the team just did better. They got their running game going. The Patriots did, which was nice to see. It's 54 from Ramondre, 30 from Drake May. He finally got his running stats back from last year. Continued that. Drake May ran for a touchdown. He threw 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. The first drive was really good. If you go watch this first drive of this game, it was a really good drive to go up 6-0. That's the one thing. Their kicker missed 2 extra points, but ended up making his field goals. So something to look out for the Patriots. Their kicker can miss kicks. So we'll see if that plays into their season. Tua finally found Tyreek Hill on a 30-plus yard pass, and he had 6 receptions for 109 yards. Devon Achane had a game too, in receiving wise at least. 8 receptions for 92 yards. They really didn't get anything to go in a run game, but 2 on the offense found what worked, and their offense started looking like that Dolphins offense a little bit. And then they finally got a lead in the game, and their defense just couldn't stop the Patriots. I don't know how they couldn't stop him. They just kept getting these out routes and these inseams that screw him up defensively. And that defense is supposed to be really good. They added Minka to that defense. Their passer is supposed to be good. The linebacker is supposed to be fast enough to be able to tackle the running back. But it's just been a bad year for the Dolphins, and it's not getting any better. Tua threw a horrible pick at the end of the game, right to the defender. I don't know how he did not see the defender, Marte Mapu, and he literally just threw it to his hands. Yeah, and they did get another chance to go try to win the game after, but I just don't understand how Tua would throw that ball. And Tua did not have a bad game either. He was throwing on the money. He was 26-32, 315 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had a good game until that point, and that's the reason they lost. And also their defense just is horrible. I don't know where to put it. You got to be able to sack the quarterback, and they weren't able to do that. Bradley Chubb did get a sack this game, so that's good for them. But you got to be able to tackle the running back. You got to be able to cover the receivers. And the Patriots went down the field on the first drive. They went up 14-7 early in the second quarter. So uh, it's good that he got Tyreek Hill going. But just defensively, they looked horrible, and then there was multiple penalties that cost them a lot. There were some holding penalties in the second half that really stalled their offense, and which caused them to have to punt as well. Um, they don't got it easy either. They play the Bills on Thursday Night Football. If they lose that game, Mike McDaniel's gonna get fired. I'm he just he's just not doing anything right. I think it's time for him to go. He's had his time with the Dolphins. I think it's time to fully reset. This team isn't going to get better defensively unless they shock someone, and they're not going to beat the Bills. So this could probably be Mike McDaniel's last game as the Miami Dolphins head coach, which it should be the last game. So on to the stats side of things. Devon A-Chain forced 8 missed tackles against the Patriots, which is actually crazy. Harold Landry for the Patriots accumulated a league-leading 2.5 sacks and 7 quarterback pressures against the Raiders in Week 1, and also did some things this week. The pass rush of the Patriots were really good this week, so that ended up helping them. From Week 6 to Week 18 last year, Drake May led the NFL with 395 scramble rushing yards, which is actually insane. Stats wise, it was really Tyreek Hill got the 100-yard game. But the Patriots, hey, their offense can be good. So their defense needs to tighten up a little bit. They need to be able to get more consistent pressure, and their linebackers have to play better. And their corners as well. They can't keep letting Tyreek Hill go for like 30 yards on end, which is why this game was really close, because the offense got going for the Dolphins, and the Patriots couldn't stop them until the very end. Next up, we got Niners and Saints, which ended up being a close game, especially Mac Jones starting now since Brock Purdy's hurt, unfortunately. Brock Purdy, he's been hurt the last few years, unfortunately, which has hurt the team. Injuries in general has hurt the team the past 3 years, and it's not getting any better. But Mac Jones was able to do his thing. He had time in the pocket. The Saints tried their best to keep going. Spencer Rattler did not have a bad game either this week either. He had 2 decent games. Alvin Kamara almost had 100 yards rushing, so they got the run game going. They spread the ball out to Olave, Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, company. And then on Mac Jones' side, Mac Jones and 49ers offense were able to get Christian McCaffrey going a little bit. He had over 100 yards rushing and receiving. Jawan Jennings had a huge touchdown catch in the middle of the field. Ricky Pearsall had his catches too. Mac Jones played a good game. It wasn't perfect at times, but he played a really good game against the Saints. And the Saints even had a chance to go win this game too. That's the second week in a row they've had that chance. So the Saints are playing competitive football, but they're just not a very good team in general. And you can't really Spencer Rattler can. He really can't throw more than 15 yards down the field. I don't care about the Saints. So, but Spencer Rattler has not been playing horrible football. Next up, we got Bills and Jets. Don't really have to go over this one too much. I mean, unfortunately, what happened with Justin Fields, the pass rush, everything defensively worked for the Bills, and they kept getting to Justin Fields. Justin Fields only had 27 yards passing, which is absolutely insane. He only attempted to throw 11 times, which is even crazier. Uh, the Bills just dominated this one. And Josh Allen didn't even have to throw for 150 yards. Their run game was going with James Cook, and he rushed for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, crazy. They just blew him out. And unfortunately, Justin Fields got hurt in the fourth quarter. Apparently, he has a concussion, so he might be out this week, which isn't looking good for the Jets either. So something to keep an eye on. He did find Garrett Wilson a little bit there. They couldn't get any offensive drives going at all, and Buffalo just took advantage. And then in one of the most a kind of a little bit of an upset, the Seahawks beat the Steelers on Sunday, and it was in large and due part to a big error from rookie Caleb Johnson. On kickoff, he let the ball roll past him, and on kickoffs, you have to get the ball if it's in play, otherwise it's the other team's ball. He just I as of as of today as he has been no longer a kick returner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there you go. He got benched basically on kick return. So you won't be seeing much of him uh, until Mike Tomlin says go back in. But that was such a big lapse. That changed the game completely, which was gonna be a really close game. Could have gone to overtime, and it really changed the dynamic of this game. Sam Darnold threw 2 more picks. Looked okay. Threw for 295 yards. Kenneth Walker got involved, 105 yards and a touchdown. JSN looks like a stud still, a number one target. Aaron Rodgers didn't have his best game either. The run game couldn't go going. Jalen Warren was the main receiver there too. Um, yeah, that offense couldn't get together. That defense for Seattle is looking good, and they get better every week. And that lapse by Caleb Johnson really cost the Steelers a game. It ended up being a two-score game in the fourth quarter just because of that. And Steelers couldn't recover. Rams Titans, in what we all expected the Rams won this game, but the Titans kept it close. Their defense looked really good last week against the Broncos, and they came to play this week in the first 2.5 quarters. And then the Rams finally started getting something going. Puka had rushing yards for a touchdown. Devontae Adams had 6 for 106 and a touchdown. Everything worked for the Rams in this game. Cam Ward didn't look horrible, but he looked like a rookie quarterback, of course. Tony Pollard had 92 yards rushing. Alec Ayamaner, their rookie, got his first receiving touchdown. So that was nice to see, but it was on a crazy play where Cam Ward threw it across his body into the arms of Alec Ayamaner. It was a crazy play. If you haven't seen the highlight, go check it out. It was crazy. It was like they're playing backyard football on Madden. It's crazy. But the Titans kept it close. It's 33-19. They were right there. They just couldn't get the drives going. They couldn't get the receivers going either. The Rams played good defensively. And we know their pass rush is good. We went over Panthers Cardinals. Broncos Colts was a really close game. Daniel Jones proved that he could play against any defense, and he did against a really good defense in the Broncos. And it looks like he's has that Colts offense going like crazy. Yeah, he just has full control right now, and that whole line's protecting him really well. They would have lost this game if not for a penalty, but big penalty by the Broncos. He missed a 60-yard field goal. Matt David, and then the penalty put him right in the field goal range. Leverage, apparently, in the middle on the center. They can't touch the center. They know that, and they touch the center, and Matt Gay the second one. Daniel Jones spread the ball out like crazy, but he also had help from Jonathan Taylor, who had 165 yards rushing. God. And receiving wise, he had 50 yards and a touchdown. Daniel Jones had 316 yards passing and touchdown. Bo Nix looked like Bo Nix for a minute there, like until he threw a costly interception. Didn't help, but Bo Nix was looking good too this game. I did really like he had a better week than last week. Um, Troy Franklin got going this game too. He was their main receiver. Colin Sutton only had one catch this whole game, which is actually crazy to think of. That Colts team is scary. It's something to look out for in the AFC South. Texans might not be the favorite anymore. Then we had our Super Bowl rematch. Eagles Chiefs ended up being a really close game. It ended up being 2 possessions for the Eagles, and then Mahomes got a long touchdown to make it closer, but they couldn't stop him to get the ball back. Jalen Hurts only had 95 yards passing, and they really just ran the ball. Barkley had 88 yards and touchdown. Mahomes rushed for 66 yards himself. Got Travis Kelce involved a little bit. He just couldn't get receivers going. It was a really defensive game. And the Eagles took it away. I do really like. Jalen Hurts has got to pass if he's going to try to win a second Super Bowl. I just don't like what he's doing passing wise. I think the running game is helping him way more than we think. Jalen Hurts is not throwing the ball accurately this year, and that is why they rely on the run game so much these first 2 weeks. Even though they won't tell you that, but Jalen Hurts does not look good passing the ball, and if he continues to do that, they're gonna start losing against some really good teams. Then we got Sunday Night Football, Falcons and Vikings. It was a very defensive game. The Falcons defense dominating the Vikings. Unfortunately, we had like 5 straight red zone possessions, and we scored 5 field goals. We couldn't get the touchdown done until late in the game, so that's something we need to work on. But defensively, Xavier Watts got a pick. Billy Bowman, 2 starting rookies. James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker are both our first round defensive ends. Got sacks. Multiple other people got their first career sacks. Bijan had 22 yards for 140, had 22 attempts for 143 yards on the ground. He literally was our offense. Penix didn't throw crazy amount. He only had 135 yards passing, but we were heavily focused on a run game. JJ did not look good at all, except that one quarter against the Bears. I do not know how the Bears lost against JJ McCarthy. This offensive line is horrible for JJ, and he was off. He had a touchdown waiting for him. Our Billy Bowman got beat on the left side, and JJ McCarthy just overthrew him. That would have been a touchdown. It could have been a game-changing touchdown right there too. But he missed, overthrew him. The run game didn't get going at all. Justin Jefferson got some yards, but they couldn't get going under passing wise as well. Our defense played outstanding. Multiple deflections, sacks, pressures, interceptions. Really just dominated this game in Minnesota as well, and Bijan dominated. So I'm excited to play against the Panthers, Tim. I know. I know you're gonna be there, but this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun game on Sunday. I really expect us to get our touchdowns going. And then we had a Monday night doubleheader, Bucks and Titans. Dude, Baker Mayfield in 2 minute drills was amazing. I can't even be mad. It's just really odd because CJ Stroud needs defense really had the Buccaneers where they wanted them. The Texas defense played really good football until the last 2 minutes of the game. And then CJ Stroud looked like CJ Stroud again for the most part. And then there were drives where he sometimes missed some passes. Like, Stroud, you got to make those passes. But also the passers got there for the Bucks, which didn't help him either. Offensive line held up for the Texans more than last week, which helped him get touchdowns. Literally on the first drive, he threw a touchdown pass to Nico Collins, which was awesome to see. And in the last 2 minutes, with 20 seconds left, the Buccaneers are literally about to score, and D'Amico Ryans doesn't call a timeout. It was the weirdest decision ever because the Bucks, all they did was take the take the clock down to like under 10 seconds and just run the football and automatically score. It was like, they have all the momentum. They're going to score. And he doesn't call a timeout, which cost him a chance to go down the field and get a field goal to win the game. I know it was only 20 seconds, but they had a timeout. And it's CJ Stroud. You never know. You just never know. But the Buccaneers barely won that one, 20-19. And then we had Chargers Raiders, which Gino looked horrible last night. Threw 3 picks. Just couldn't get anything going on offense. And when they did, it was either Brock Bowers or a catch Jacoby Myers. But they really couldn't keep drives going together. It just wasn't. It wasn't good. Justin Herbert and company dominated. They couldn't get their run game going. Martin Hampton couldn't get going at all. But Najee did a little bit. Najee had only had 28 yards, but the rushes he had, he did get some going. But the Chargers this year are a pass first offense, which is super cool. Which I like a lot because Justin Herbert has the arm. If you want to be a pass first offense, it's the perfect guy to build around. And Quentin Johnston, man, he's looking like the stud wide receiver one for them. That team, he's figured it out, and I like it. He had 71 yards and a touchdown. McConkey got his receptions too. Gigante, they tried to get him going, but they could not get anything going in the run game against this Chargers defensive front. Their defense was amazing in the back end too. Derwin James was really good. Um, and Gino just looked off all night. He just couldn't make an accurate pass. And on his interceptions were bad too. Like he threw it right to defender or overthrew a receiver. Gino was off. I don't know what happened, but the Charger defense just confused Geno Smith. But yeah, that was week 2. If there's anything when we talk about week 2, anything you guys would like to ask, go ahead. Last thing I'm gonna do is probably just go over Thursday Night Football preview. But if you guys wanna any thing you want me to talk about game wise, if you have a favorite team or anything, let me know. And again, I talked for like an hour straight. I did it quicker a little bit, I think, this week. It's just that I didn't get to watch the games, all of the games again. I missed like the Niners game, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Panthers, Broncos game. All those I missed, but I saw them in red zone, so it wasn't the worst thing. But I do like to rewatch condensed game. It lets me see how they play and stuff. But for the most part, I saw a lot of that in red zone. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'm gonna go over Thursday Night Football, preview it a little bit. Dolphins and Bills, of course. I talked about Dolphins a lot. They just don't look like a good football team. Good sign. They did get their offense going, and they have to do it again. Except it's against the Bills, which are the heavy favorites to win the division. Maybe even get the bye week. So it's not going to be an easy game for them. The Bills scored the second most points in the league per game. The Dolphins are at the very bottom of that. Fourth in the turnover game, the Bills are for 2 weeks. They're fifth in the league in penalties for 2 weeks. Dude, the Bills just look really good, and they just blew out the Jets, who looked good defensively week 1. Or, well, didn't look good defensively. I mean, they can be good defensively. But there was a shootout against the Steelers week 1. But Justin Fields looked really good, and they made him look like he was nothing this game. They didn't let the offensive Jets get going at all. The Jets defense really did not have a good day against the Bills. Josh Allen James Cook was able to run through them all over. Literally ran all over them for 2 touchdowns and over 120 plus yards, which it's crazy. The Dolphins, if they want to win this game, they got to get their offense going. Tua cannot throw turnovers. He cannot throw picks. He just can't. I mean, if he throws a pick, he's going to lose this game. Guaranteed. They're going to get blown out. So that's what they got to do to win this game. They got to play better defensively. It's going to be hard against Josh Allen, and I don't have faith in them. They will. But their defense has not been playing good. They've been allowing too many yards over their heads. Even against the Patriots too and the Colts, they should be getting flat out destroyed. Linebacker wise, the linebackers got to cover better. The corners got to play better man wise, and I don't see them doing that this week. The Bills are gonna run all over Dolphins. It's looking like, unless the Dolphins keep this close. This is for Mike McDaniel's job right here, so we'll see how Miami plays. I just don't think they'll be getting anything going. Except their offense got going a little bit last week. Hopefully that continues over, but it's probably the last game we'll see Mike McDaniels, especially if they lose. Hopefully, well, he should be fired if they lose this game, especially in a blowout. Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen is amazing, and that run game's been amazing too with James Cook. They got receivers now in Keon Coleman stepping up, so yeah. I'm going to. Well, I get my game picture this week. I'm gonna go Bills, of course. I think it's gonna win. They're gonna win. I'd have to say like 35-12. That's my guess. 35-12. I know the Dolphins offense got going last week, but I don't think they're gonna be able to keep up with the Bills. But yeah. That is that's pretty much all I have right now. If there's anything Q&A time, I guess. So if you guys want to ask anything, say anything, go ahead. If you want me to talk about anything too, let me know. I'll stay live for 10, 15 more minutes. And if you guys want to talk about anything, feel free. I love talking football, so ask anything. I was trying to look at. What was I trying to look at? I was trying to look at something. The Bills. Oh, there we go. There's that. The Bills. That's cool. Matt Milano and Ed Oliver did not practice today, so that's not good. Teron Johnson, their corner, and Cam Lewis have been limited, so that's not bad either. The Bills do not have a very hard schedule this first half of the season. They play the Dolphins, then they play the Saints, then they play the Patriots, then they play us. That's going to be a tough game. I think we can win that one. Then they play the Panthers. The Chiefs are 0-2. The Dolphins. The Bucks might be a tough game. The Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, and Jets. Dude, the Bills could go 15-2. Jeez. roster. Yeah, with Ed Oliver missing practice today, he probably won't play on Thursday, unfortunately, which is big for them. I mean, I guess it really didn't matter when they beat the Jets like that. But yeah, if that's probably it for me tonight. We'll be back Saturday. Gonna try to get Julio in again Saturday, so be there. I think around 9ish, 9:30ish we'll go live. So we'll be previewing week 3 of the NFL. So get ready for that. Be going over TNF too. So this should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Tim and Marcel, for hopping in, chilling, enjoying some football. So thank you all again, and I'll see you guys Saturday. So appreciate you guys again, and yeah, it's fun.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PI Podcast and on Twitter at PI Podcasters. Until next time.